Pashupatinath, the linga there, has 4 faces. It's facing the one face that you will see from the front side is the east face. This is called as Tat Purusha, that means the highest kind of being. The western face is called Sadyojatha. The northern face is called as Vamadeva. The southern face is called Aghora. So one is the highest kind of being, another is a giver of joy, another is a master of occult sciences, another is aghori. That means he is beyond the terrible, that the terrible does not touch him. There is nothing that is repulsive for him. He is an all-embracing kind, not in compassion, as you would like to think. Because I want you to understand that spiritual process in this part of the world never taught you about being loving, being compassionate, being kind. This kind of stuff, they did not even consider it as spiritual. So they thought it was not necessary to teach such things. So aghori is in an embrace with the existence, not in any kind of emotion, simply because he wants to be like life. Because life is naturally all-embracing. He treats food and his excrement the same way. He treats the dead and the alive the same way. He treats a well-preserved body and a rotting body the same way. Not because he's in love, simply because he wants to become absolute life. He does not want to be trapped in his own psychological process. So that's the southern face. The South Indians, I'm looking at you, right? Shiva looked south with that kind of face, an all-embracing face, not in love, not in compassion, just life. And that quality seeped in to every aspect of south. When I say south, anything south of Himalayas is south, not Chennai alone, okay?
The Pashupatinath temple is located on the western bank of the Bagmati river. The temple is listed in UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. The temple complex has a certain arrangement of shrines and statues. In the southern side, there is a labyrinth of 64 lingas. The different deities face different directions. Bhairav faces south, Ganesh faces east, Narayan west, and the Navdurgas north. Apart from the 4 faces of the Pashupatinath linga, there is a 5th unseen face of the linga called Ishana, representing the element ether or Akash. The priests who perform the daily rituals in the temple are Brahmins from the Karnataka and Kerala regions in the South India. During the Mahashivratri festival, thousands of people arrive by night, take a dip in the cold waters of the Bagmati river and have darshan of Pashupatinath. On the opposite bank of the river are several shrines and courtyards, which offer accommodation to pilgrims during the major festivals. The Bagmati originates at the Bhagdwar, above the southern edge of the Shivpuri hills, about 15 kilometers northeast of Kathmandu. The river flows through many places in Nepal, including Swambhunath Stupa, Kathmandu Darbar Square, and the Dakshin Kali Temple. Bagmati River is known for its cremation spots, including the Ara Ghat, the most widely used cremation spot in Nepal. The Nepali Hindu tradition says that the dead body must be dipped into Bagmati river 3 times before cremation.
I say a body, a spiritual body, to give you a better perception of that, how can a nation be a body? To give you a better understanding. For example, Dhyana Linga is a spiritual body with all the 7 chakras active and alive. We could easily create a larger body than this, but it will be more difficult to maintain. Right now, we are planning to attempt something like this in the United States, Tennessee ashram. We're thinking of establishing 7 sthanas across the land to convert that land into a spiritual body so that when people enter that space, they can feel it and experience it and use it as a stepping stone for their well-being, that they are not just trying mentally, it is a live process. So we are thinking of converting that land itself into a spiritual body. There are very fantastic Devi temples. There are also female bodies. The Devi body, also created in many ways. It was not as systematic as this whole process. This whole process of creating this body, where it is neither male nor female. That's why we are saying Shiva, because Shiva is neither masculine nor feminine. You know the famous depiction, he is Ardhanari. One half of him is feminine, another half of him is masculine. So Pashupatinath is very, very significant. In many ways, it is a huge stepping stone in this system. There are still certain… what to call them, certain traditions which are actively making use of this process. One tradition which is making use of this very actively, and you can still see them if you go to Pashupatinath, is the Nathi community. Have you heard of Nathis, gorakhnathis? People who come from North India must have heard of gorakhnathis. It's fallen on bad times and taken on all kinds of meanings, but these gorakhnathis are the tradition that came out of Gorakhnath, the disciple of machhindranath. Machhindranath is seen as the reincarnation of Shiva himself, and Gorakhnath created the tradition and he established one of the largest yogic cults in this part of the world at that time, and it still lives, probably having the largest number of mendicants and sadhus compared to any other system. So that system still makes use of this southern body, and they travel up and they have ashrams all along this 5 chakras established, which is the Shiva's body in the form of a bull. They still follow that. And you will see them, a few of them in the Pashupatinath temple. If you see anybody with a large ring on his left ear, a large ring, usually a bone ring, that means he's a gorakhnathi, he belongs to the Nathi community or the Nathi system. They have an ashram. If you climb up further, there is a ashram of the Nathis where there are at least 100, 200, 108, more than that I think, whatever. There are a large number of samadhis of Nathis who attained. Only those who attained got proper stone samadhis, others were buried under the trees. So you will see a large number of that, showing the richness of that system that so many people attained. So many people attained through their system, so there are so many samadhis which you can visit, which is in a dilapidated condition today, but still there for one to visit.